For some unknown reason, all these discussions, opinions, and rumors affected the poor prosecutor more than anyone else. They affected him so much that, upon returning home, he thought and thought and thought about it all, and suddenly, without any provocation, as they say, up and died. Whether it was a paralytic stroke that carried him off or something else is not known. But just as he had been sitting in his chair until then, so now he collapsed beside it. As happens in such circumstances, people exclaimed, throwing up their hands and saying, "Oh my God, and sent for a doctor to let blood. But then they realized that the prosecutor was nothing now but an unbreathing corpse. Then it was discovered that the deceased had had a soul, although, out of modesty, he had never given any evidence of having one. But then the manifestation of death is just as terrifying in an important or in an insignificant person. He who just yesterday had been walking about, playing cards, signing papers, who had so often been seen in the company of officials with his bushy eyebrows and winking eye, was now stretched out on a table. His left eye winked no longer, although one of the eyebrows was still somewhat raised in a rather quizzical expression. What the departed had wished to know, why he died, why he had lived, God alone can say. But isn't it incredible? Isn't it too stupid for words? How could government officials possibly frighten themselves to the extent of concocting such nonsense, of departing so far from the truth, when a mere child could have clearly seen what all the fuss was about? This will be the consensus of opinion among many readers, who will either accuse me of inconsistency or declare that my poor officials are nothing but a bunch of idiots. But this is because people are lavish in their use of the word idiot and will use it about 20 times a day to the edification of their neighbors. It's easy for the reader from his quiet vantage point high above the melee, whence his eye sweeps over the whole horizon, and he can see everything that is happening below. But a man down there can only see the object nearest him. In the same way, in the world chronicle of mankind, there seem to be many centuries that could be crossed out and expunged as useless. There have been many errors committed in the world which we would not expect a child to commit today. What tortuous, blind, impassable, devious paths has mankind trodden in its search for eternal truth, while all the time, right before it, lay the straight road leading to the glittering edifice destined to be the palace of the ruler. This road is the clearest and the most beautiful of all, flooded by sunlight during the day and brightly illumined at night. But the human throng flows past it in darkness. And how many times, even when inspired by God-given good sense, have men still managed to step back and turn away from it, succeeded again and again in losing themselves in back alleys in broad daylight, succeeded again and again in filling each other's eyes with blinding smoke and trudging warily after a mirage, again and again succeeded in coming to the very brink of the precipice, then asking each other, horrified, in which direction the road can be found. The present generation sees all this clearly and is surprised at the erring and blundering of its ancestors, laughs at their folly. So it's not for nothing that mankind's chronicle is scarred by heavenly flames, that each letter in it cries out, and that from every page a piercing finger is pointed at the present generation. But today's generation just laughs, sure of its strength and full of pride. And it starts off along a path of new errors, over which its descendants in turn will pour their scorn.